Peace and blessings, and welcome back to the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. This is Karev, and tonight we have a great interview coming up with one of my favorite rappers of all time, one of the most quoted and quotable rappers ever, whose bars have become hooks in some of your favorite songs. Today, we have Billy Danze of the world famous First Family M.O.P. on Heritage Hip Hop. Before we get into this extraordinary podcast interview, first we got to pay the bills. This podcast is being sponsored by Transparent Credit Repair, the superheroes of the credit and financial literacy world. If you're looking to give your pockets some room to breathe and you want to get some stress and debt off of your name, you could go to www.transparentcreditrepair.com or call 862-250-5122 and get the relief that you need to make sure that you can obtain financial stability. That means no bankruptcy, coming out of debt, and giving yourself a means to better have support with your own money and to invest. Once again, that's Transparent Credit Repair at www.transparentcreditrepair.com, or you can call them at 862-250-5122. And if you go online, use the code HH1 and you may get something special thrown your way. Right about now, we're about to get into an interview that not only showed heritage hip hop that it's on the right path, but we got a cosign from an OG that not only lives what he says, but he inspires through what he says. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for this great interview, and I'll come back with my commentary.
Right. Peace and blessings, everybody. This is Karev from Heritage Hip Hop. And if you know me personally, you know M.O.P. is one of my top 3 favorite hip hop groups of all time. So please, to my guests, introduce yourself to the people that's listening.
Yeah. What's up, world? It's your man, Billy Danze, man. World Famous M.O.P. Firing Squad. I'm not in the building. I built it, and I know my way around. What's good, y'all?
Hey, man, it's a pleasure to finally get to talk to you. I've been wanting this interview for some years. And to give the Most High his credit, only he could have made it happen when you get to talk to somebody that you respect for not only what he says on the mic, but how he carries himself. So how you doing today?
I'm good, brother. I'm out here like everybody else, fighting the fight, on top of the fight. You know what I mean? But I'm holding my head, whole family safe. You know, God bless. You know what I mean? Hope that you safe and your family safe as well, brother.
Yeah, thank you very much, man. So I don't like to go into, with veteran MCs, I don't like to go into the past too much because anybody can Google you and figure out who you are. And if they don't know who you are by now, they lost. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
So I just want to talk to you about not your beginnings, but what makes you stable. And one of my favorite lines from Billy Danze is, I went from YG to OG to OG to YG. That's a very big statement right there. So
yeah.
from the humble beginnings of M.O.P., how did Billy Danze find his voice and exactly know how to project what he wanted to say?
I mean, it's just years of, it's trial and error, right? So everything that a lot of the rappers talk about in the music of how, about how their life was before music is the actual life that I lived. So I tried everything from, hustling to working to robbing and stealing. And that really, I don't want to say I did good at it, but I did, I did what I was supposed to do there to keep my head above water. But with the music, it came a little different because now, I was able to express myself without hurting anybody or putting myself in harm's way. And then, getting the reaction from the fans and the people, not just in my community or just communities like mine, but around the world. And that helped me develop the person that people see today. Because, like I said, it's all trial and error through the most part of your life, and that's with anybody. But now, I'm stable, I'm situated, I know who I am, I know how to reach my fans, I know how to talk to my people, which is that part of society that people try to forget about. So it's kind of easy for me. Just all I got to do is be myself, bro.
And being yourself and making the rhymes that you have cemented yourself as one of the most known quotable rappers in history. I know that most people don't go at that as a goal, but to know that your bars stand up as one of the most jeweled out rappers that comes from the 90s generation, our generation on, how does that title feel on you?
Well, to be honest, bro, I never heard it until you just said it, and I'm going
Really?
to post it. I'm definitely going to post this as soon as we're done with this interview. That you said that to me, and as soon as you said it, now it hit me because now I got all these lines flying through my head. Right? I'm like, I am pretty dope.
Oh, definitely. Come on, man. Come on, man. Like, think about this. You are one of the most sampled voices in hip hop when it comes to scratching, breaks, bars, beats, whatever. Come on. Let them niggas know what you went to. Use your potential. Like, fire and
Yeah.
I mean, those are little bars or little lines right there that when you say that, people instantaneously know who you are.
Right. But you know what, bro? Like, the feeling of it, like I said, it just hit me because you said it. But I'm always, when I'm writing, I'm just pouring out my natural feeling, like exactly how I feel at that moment. So I never look at it like, okay, if I say this, people are going to go nuts, because I'm trying to please myself first, with what I write. And, you know, how I display it. I mean, I really deal with passion, bro. Like, everything that I do is passion from, dude, I don't care if I'm cooking, if I'm having a conversation with somebody, if I'm in the booth, anything I do it with passion. So if it comes across like this, and, you know, people can say, well, I'm one of the most quotables, I appreciate it, bro. It feels great. And I'm actually going to I'm going to write a song today just because you said that to me. I
Yeah, I
love it.
appreciate it. Core heritage hip hop in it, please. I appreciate that.
I
But
definitely
most,
will, brother.
most importantly with that though, I was listening to an interview. Like I said, I'm a big M.O.P. fan. So like the first time I heard How About Some Hardcore, I think I threw something at my wall and said, "What the hell is this?" And I was in love with it. Shout out to Kitten Play, right? Because they put y'all on the House Party 3 soundtrack, right?
Yep, House
That's
Party
what
2, yeah. Yeah,
exactly.
House.
And
I think it was
and
2. House Party 2, I believe. I don't
two,
know.
that's two.
One, yeah.
It was one of them because Kid and Play made it happen. So that's why I was
Right.
happy with it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But even from coming from there, in all the interviews I've seen of you, there's one thing that you said in the interview, well, two interviews that stood out to me the most. And one was when you said, and I don't remember the interview right now, but you said, a liar is a person that's unhappy within themselves. And when you say that you write from your passion, that means you found your spot to be true to yourself. What is the power of truth, and how do you project it with your passion?
Well, I mean, the power of truth is, like, this is how you get by. Like, if you don't live your life, if you don't live the truth, then you're basically, you're basically in a bubble. You know what I'm saying? You're like, I forget what the name of the movie was when dude was just living in this reality show, and he didn't even know
Truman
it.
Show.
The Truman Show, exactly. You're basically Truman. It's so easy to be yourself. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're up or down, like, it's easy to be yourself. Like, I was thinking about this the other day, how people, like, even from the smallest thing, right? Like putting rims on your car, right? You put rims on your car, or the female's dressed in a certain way or whatever. Like, you can't possibly say that's not for someone else, because when you're in the car driving, you can't even see the rims. And when you're wearing a certain kind of pants, and, you know, what are you going to do? Turn around all day, look at your own ass? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it for other people. So if you living your life according to what people think, or what people think about you, then whose life are you actually living? You know what I'm saying? Like, whose life are you actually living? You know, it's more important to be you know, to be grounded with yourself than to be amazing to other people, because if a little bit of that amazingness goes away, then you're no longer amazing. Now you at square one again, trying to still figure out who you are as a grown person. You know what I mean? Which, it just doesn't make sense to me, brother. You know?
And I mean, even coming from truth to, like I said, in my opinion, you're one half of one of the greatest hip hop groups of all time. And your partner, salute to Lil Fame, he's a great wordsmith as well, and his production over the years has not only excelled, but he's found his style. How did you keep yourself as an individual in one of the greatest groups ever and still blend into being a dynamic duo?
Well, see, that's the thing. We're not a group. We're only a group to the world. And I say that because before music, me and Fame hung out together. Like we've been friends so long, bro. Like we're no longer friends anymore. We're family, but we've been a part of each other's life for so long that we don't even know where we met, how we met, or when we met. Like it's that far. And you know what? I thought I was the only one that couldn't figure it out. Right? I'm like, man, I don't remember. And I was saying to myself for years, like, I can't remember where we met. But just maybe about a month or so ago, we did in January, actually, in February, I'm sorry, we did an interview. We were overseas touring in Germany, and we did an interview with a guy, and he asked that question. How'd you guys meet? Where'd you guys meet? Blah, 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 whatever. And I waited for Fame to answer. I'm just sitting there looking at him because I want to know too, right? Fame said exactly what I say. He don't remember. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So we're not a group. So, like, we know each other in and out. So there's beats, like when it's time to make records, there's beats that he selects simply because I would be at my best on it. And he knows it. And I could be halfway across the country somewhere. You know what I mean? So we know each other that well. And being individuals in the group starts from right there because we were never a group from the beginning. He was always Fame, I was always Bill. So it's easy for us to, stay as individuals when we make records.
That's funny because you know what? My profession, I'm a teacher. Right now I teach preschool, but I also taught in college, right?
Okay.
And in my college life, a lot of the kids, but the students would ask me, who did I listen to? And I gave them I gave them Nas, Redman, Jada, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the funniest thing is one of my students who's actually a battle rapper now, he told me in M.O.P. he was confused because y'all are so different that y'all blend perfectly. He said from his understanding of hip hop, M.O.P. is my generation's G-Rap and Big Daddy Kane as a group. How does that hit you?
That's dope. I'm posting that too, champ. I've never, we've been compared to a lot of people, not a lot, but the people that we have been compared to were like amazing, like the G-Raps, the, Big Daddy Kane's, Run DMC. So to hear that is kind of nuts. Now, when you think about blending, most groups don't blend together well because most of them do the same thing anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're doing the same thing, you don't have to blend. With me and Fame, it's natural how we are. And the blend is just from what we represent. It blends so well because we represent the same thing the same way, but from different angles, so to speak. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like different deliveries of it. Like Fame is like a wordsmith, dude. Like he is nuts with his wordplay. You know what I mean? Like he's somebody like if you're a rapper, you would be stuck on the way he put his words together.
Right.
It's been told to me like if you're a rapper, you could enjoy Billy Danze, but if you're a dude of passion or a dude from the block, you really understand me a little bit more because, that's kind of who the audience that I hit. Unconsciously, I wasn't trying to go, you know what, I only want the dudes that stand in the middle of the block from 8 to 9. You know what I'm saying? Like, not those. I just was just delivering the way that I deliver. You know what I mean? And it's been a blessing, bro. Like, I mean, we're still in the game all this time, still touring, still doing big deals, still, making, keeping our footprints planted, in the game. You know what I mean? And just because of that, because we've always been different, and because we do come from that era before, as the G-Raps, the Kings, the Rakims, we wanted to do it different. If there was a group that sounded the way M.O.P. sound, then me and Fame would be M.O.P., but you would have a different perspective because we would have delivered it different because we would never want to do what another artist or another group does.
And y'all do it so well. And I want to give a shout out to Doggy Diamonds because he's somebody I really respect and look at his interviews. And he asked you one of the questions I wanted to ask you when I heard I had this interview like a couple months ago. And it was the question about, do y'all do your ad-libs or practice your ad-libs before you bang out the track? And you said yes.
Mm-hmm.
So then that had me think that that being in sequence means that you have a connection within your unit that is so organic that most people who try to get into the business can't seem to replicate, and they fail.
Right.
Does that sequence and does that exist with everybody on the team besides just you and Fame?
Yeah, well, I mean, see, everybody plays a role, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's the music side of M.O.P., the street side of M.O.P., or just the family side of M.O.P. Everybody stands out a lot in whatever field. You know what I'm saying? Like, Flip is like the most respectful gangster I've ever met in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and he's all the way G, though. You know what I'm saying? All the way. He's an older dude now, but he's official. He's playing in the street. He's always been playing it, but he's always had this level of respect where he kind of handles himself different from all the other real gangsters that you know.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the same with us with making music. We handle ourselves different from all the serious rappers. Fox handles herself different. Lays as a big brother figure, manager figure, producer figure. He does it different from everybody else that I know in the business. So it's just something that we have, that we take pride in. Be different. You know what I mean? Like, be different because you stand out more. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's dudes in the business that had much bigger deals than M.O.P., but they just kind of felt like everybody else that had a deal. You know what I'm saying? Like M.O.P., like the deals that we had, like we stood out because we did it different. Our approach was different. And look, what people don't understand is, like, we had deals with all the major labels. And then we had deals with some other labels. And these cats, they wanted to do deals with M.O.P., whether it was G-Unit, Rockefeller, whatever labels, other labels that we were in. Like, they wanted to do deals with M.O.P. because they were fans of M.O.P.
Right.
Not because of just the business of it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, it's key to be different, bro, because that's how you last long. You just be different because, this business is so crazy. You have highs and lows. You don't know what's going to work, what will work. So if you're different, you could stand out. And at the very least, you at least get the attention of enough people so you can keep going. You can do it again next time, and you keep growing and keep growing your brain. Just be different. That's very, very important in the music industry or anything that you do, any business, big business. Like, you think about years ago, we had like MySpace. A few years after that, here comes Facebook. Facebook is basically MySpace on steroids.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So the dude Zuckerberg just figured out, you know what, he's doing it like this. We'll do it like that, but then we'll add this and add this and add this, and boom, here you go, $200 billion company. You know what I mean? Just because he did it different. That's all
You're
it
right.
is. Just because you do it different, bro. And it's key in anything that you do, brother.
And knowing branding, I want to ask you, because your team, like I said, if you're a fan, you follow. Teflon was an addition to the M.O.P. First Family that when he came out, when I heard, do you want the rawness? No doubt. I mean, it was like, oh my God, there's another one? And Tef, I remember being in high school when that came out, that album came out, and I was handing out the demo, like the little samplers, the snippets. I was handing them out in my high school, like, yo, M.O.P. got another one. Yo, check it out. And people was like, yo, this nigga hot as hell. Who's Teflon? I'm like, I don't know. Was Teflon always there, or did y'all bring him in and graft him into the family?
No, Tef, listen, if you ever look at a picture of me and Tef, you see I'm towering over Tef.
Mm-hmm.
Tef been in the family so long, like Tef is a part of the family. But why I'm saying that is because we could show you pictures from when we were kids, and Tef was towering over me. And Tef ain't that short. And Tef ain't that tall, excuse me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So So it's way, way back, bro. Like way, way back. Chef is not new to the family. When y'all first heard him, he was new to the world as an artist, but he is not new to the family. And even and to say it, if we weren't doing music, Chef is still a part of the family. You know what I'm saying? He was always there.
Well, shout out to him and Fox, because, I mean, like I said, the First Family was a movement that people really wanted and loved in my land, you know what I'm saying? And coming from that, y'all also were part of Gangstar's family. Shout out to Premier.
Of course.
How did that blend happen? And what made it so pure?
Well, that happened from just being a fan of Gangstar's. I mean, come on, dude, just to get a rep? That's all we needed right there. So we would see, you know, every now and again, you may see Guru, you may see Premier passing through Brownsville going to East New York. Never, ever thinking that you would someday do a record with them, because we weren't even thinking about records at the time. And one day, me and my boy, God bless him, OG Boo Bang, we were on the train after How About Some Hardcore came out, and we staring this dude down. Well, some dude is looking at us from the other end of the train, so we staring him down. You know what I mean? Once I get close to him, I realize it's J. Rue the Damager. Now, we were seeing his video move around the same time How About Some Hardcore move. So we walked up on him, yo, what up? Boom, boom, boom. He's like, yeah, I know who y'all are. Boom, boom, boom. He's like, yo, Premier loves y'all. I'm like, you talking about DJ Premier? He's like, yeah. I'm like, wow. So then I don't know how it happened from there, but we were invited to the radio station that Premier was playing on. And we went up there to see Premier. When he tells this story, he'd be like, I'll never forget the day when y'all came up there, Bill. You had your hat so low, you was looking at me like you wanted to set it on me. Dude, I was just in shock. You know what I'm saying? As DJ Premier. So, and from there, bro, we started to work on. There was supposed to be a remix to How About Some Hardcore.
Right.
We were in D&D studio. We went up there so Premier could remix How About Some Hardcore. As he's making this beat, I've never actually seen someone make a beat before. He's making this beat. He had a kick. He had a snare. That's all I remember. I got hungry. I went downstairs to get something to eat. I came back like 20, 30 minutes later, and he had the beat to the first downtown swinger that we did.
Oh, my God.
It kind of started right there, dude, and we kind of never left each other's side. It's crazy, though, because I just seen a picture of me, Premier, and my son when he was like maybe 2 or 3 years old. Tef just sent it to me. He just sent it to me on my phone like 2 days ago. Crazy, crazy, man. So, yeah, we just been a part of the Gangstar Foundation since that moment. And then, you know, Guru took a liking to us and they took us on our first tour.
Nice.
Not just around the city, not just around the country, but they took us around the world. And embraced us and brought us along and gave us the floor unselfishly. You know what I'm saying? Like, go out there and get busy. Gave us all the pointers, all the tips that we needed to develop a dope show and develop as dope artists and fame as a producer. Fame, you know, anytime he's stuck on some kind of production, he can call Premier. He just said this to me. Straight up, bro. He just said this to me 2 days ago. Anytime I need him, man, I could call him and he can help me. He helps me, blah, blah, blah. Now, we love them dudes, man, and they love us, man. So it's always family. And that goes on any level. So if anybody think about getting out of pocket with anybody from Gangstar, then you're getting out of pocket with M.O.P. too. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm not putting that out there to be negative. I'm just saying that's my family.
Yeah, that's the love you got. Right.
Yeah, I need you to respect my family. Same way you need to respect us. You dig?
How did Guru influence you?
Yo, dude, how first of all, his rap style was just nuts, right?
Yeah, the monotone flow was official.
Yo, as slick as he was rapping, like the way he would, and then sometimes he would jumble words up, but he ends it right. You know what I'm saying? He just did all kind of wild stuff, and his voice, Guru has one of the illest voices in hip hop history. Now there may be more that's gonna come down the pipe, but one that's solid, solidified, and will never go anywhere is Guru.
Yeah.
Dude is nuts. When I tell you he's nuts, I mean he was so nuts, dude. And what was fly is like a lot of rappers their rap voice is not the same as their speaking voice.
Right.
His was exactly the same. And he never fronted. He was always who he was. You know what I'm saying? Like I never seen Guru on Monday and he was all uppity and we were friends, and then the next 2 weeks he was acting funny. He was always just who he was, bro. Love that about him, man. Miss him, man. Rest in peace to Guru, man. Work.
Exactly. And the reason why I asked that question is because when greatness inspires greatness, the world changes. Because inspiration not only is it God-given, but it's given through the influence of God through men. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And one thing I always seen about Premier is whenever he set himself up with somebody, not only did he bring the best out of them, but he was able to show them that there's more to them than the average that the average person would hear. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
And the way he did to Big L, were y'all tight with Big L as well?
Yeah. L was cool. You know what? I seen him maybe, I want to say a couple of months before, he passed. And I can't say that we were like super, super cool because we didn't have that much time to spend with each other.
Right.
But from meeting him, the time that when we first met to that last time I met him, it was 100%. You know what I'm saying? It was 100%. Last time I talked to him, I want to say we were in Virginia, standing in the middle of the block somewhere. I can't remember. Well, I know we were standing in the middle of the block and we were having this conversation about music. And one thing I liked about, the rappers from that era, especially when we mingled with other rappers, like we didn't portray to be bigger than the person we were talking to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't like, you know what? I'm nice too. I can rap, I'll rap too. You know what I'm saying? It was just that. And it was more about, if it was any kind of competition we had, it was more about friendly competition. If I heard a Big L song, or if I heard a Busta song, or whoever, if I heard that song, I wouldn't hate on them. You know what I'm saying? I would just go, oh, that's inspiring me to do something different. You know what I mean? So, and Big L, I mean, we know now, right, that he's like one of the greatest. Back then, of course, we knew he was sharp and
Right.
deserved to have a title, but we just didn't see it like that. We just seen it as, a good dude from uptown who someday we're going to do a record with because we should. You know what I mean? And rest in peace to Big L, man. Good guy, man. He definitely put his stamp in hip hop. And when I tell you, dude, because he's been going for a long time. But when you put on a Big L record anywhere around the world, people lose their mind, dude.
They lose their mind, man.
I love it, bro.
I want to ask you this question, because this is something that really hits my heart, because this is why I think hip-hop fails today, and a lot of the younger generations don't really see it because maybe it wasn't taught to them, which is a shame. I don't think hip-hop pays homage like it should. I did an interview with Bumpy Knuckles, and he talked about the Flavor Unit and y'all M.O.P., and he talked about Naughty, and he talked about that with admiration to the point where he feels like he gives them respect and gives y'all respect by not being corny, horrible, or lazy on a track. And today, I don't see a lot of people paying homage, not even with respect to the past, but even upholding the tradition. What do you feel about that?
You know what? I think they don't know how. You know what I'm saying? So I don't fault any of the young rappers, the rappers of today, like the ones that came out last year. We can't fault them for not paying homage to cats that came out in the 90s because the cats before them didn't pay the homage. You know what I'm saying? So they only doing what they see. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when, every little kid sounds the same now, and that's only because people make them believe this is what they have to sound like in order to get involved or in order to be a big artist. The fans don't allow them to be themselves. You know what I'm saying? And that's the music side of it. The homage side comes from, they just don't get it. Like somebody need to teach them. You know what I'm saying? And the problem with teaching a young kid who was actually a grown man, he's just younger than us. The problem with teaching him something that he don't know is you got to take him away from something that he believes. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you take him away from something that he believes? You can't take me away from what I believe. Right. You know what I'm saying? And then it goes deeper than just music or just being an artist. Like, the respect level that we had for the people older than us in our neighborhoods. I'm talking about Miss Pearl, Miss Debbie, and Mr. Frank. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking like the respect level that we had for them and even our parents, right? Like, these kids don't have that same respect for their elders or even their parents. You know what I mean? So, and we can't point the finger and say, it's Soulja Boy's fault, or it's this one's fault. Or we can't point the finger. That's just how people live, and people are entitled to feel the way they feel. If they don't want to pay homage, then that's on them. In some weird way, they probably do. You know what I'm saying? They just won't let it go publicly. It's like the fat girl, you know, who's actually cute in the face, and nobody really likes her, but you kind of like her, but you don't let nobody know you like her. You know what I'm saying? So it's, you know, I don't really fiddle with that because it's not my place. One thing I can say about hip hop as a whole is it's a beautiful thing, bro, because those kids that don't pay homage, they don't realize it, but from what was created way before they were born, this is the reason why you can afford the truck that you're driving or the house that you bought for your mother. You know what I mean? So hip hop, I call it this thing of ours. And like, if you take all the major corporations, the tech companies, the major league sports franchise, collectively, they haven't been able to secure more homes in the urban community as hip hop has. So this is a beautiful, beautiful thing, bro. You know what I mean? Long live hip hop, bro. I love this thing of ours. You know?
Salute, facts. But you pay homage to hip hop in so many ways. And let's talk about the 6 o'clock briefing. That was a homage record. Tell me about how that came about, and why was that the first song that people really got from you to hear you solo?
Well, really, it was the time, you know, what was going on in the times. Like, there was a lot of African American or people from the urban communities being shot down by white police officers. I mean, shot in the back, shot 10, 15 times, you know. So, and I kind of felt like our president, regardless if he was black or white, he just happened to be black. It felt like he was just kind of not sitting back, letting it happen, but he wasn't addressing it. You know what I mean? So, and people was like, yo, Bill dissing Obama. I wasn't dissing him. I was just I was reporting from the hood. I was briefing him from the hood what was going on and how I kind of view it. Not us. This is how I saw it. You know what I mean? He even, you know, he liked the song. He sent the tweet out, said something about the record and everything. He understood where I was coming from. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's why I put the record out, because I felt like it was bothering me. You know what I mean? I had a young little kid in my house who actually climbed up on the table and just pressed a button on the computer, and the beat came on. And that beat, he liked the beat. And as I'm watching this young kid, our future, run around my living room, I'm going, wow. And the horns was blaring. It felt real presidential. So that's what draws me to it. And I wrote, and I didn't want to write. It was just a quick briefing. Dude, this is what's going on. You know what I mean? You're kind of sitting in the bleachers. You know what I mean? Like, you got to do something about it, though. But whatever, you know what I mean? And it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't no disrespect towards Obama or his legacy. I just wanted to get my feelings out, which is what I always do on records, but I needed to get my feelings out on that one. And people accepted it. People liked the record. So
it's a great record, because, I mean, on the flip side of it, like I said, giving homage. You sounded like a representative of people who did not have a voice. And that's what hip hop always was. It was giving a voice to those who were deemed voiceless. So you didn't come as a rapper. You came not only as a politician, you came as like an elder statesman for people who really needed to be heard. And like I said, that part of paying homage is what we need to see more in hip hop. I mean, even to quote you, you said in one interview, you said how you want to see the people in battle rap get off of some of the stuff that they do, and somebody's going to have to come one day different and make people think and not just be about gun lyrics.
Right.
It seems that Billy Danze has taken the elder statesman role. Remember, from YG to OG, YG to OG, OG to YG. Now he's teaching his lessons because he's lived that moment and he understands the complexity and simplicity of men's actions and their words. Am I correct?
Exactly, bro. And what am I supposed to do, right? Am I supposed to have this conversation like I did when I was a 22-year-old kid? Like I gave you How About Some Hardcore and Blue Steel and all that because that's where I was at that time. I'm a grown man with a family. You know what I'm saying? Like we never understood how important the elections was because as kids we didn't see the effect. We didn't feel the effect. You know what I mean? Our elders or our parents hid that from us. You know what I mean? Maybe they were going through it, but we didn't know nothing about that. So now moving forward, like things that I see, whether it be unnecessary beef in hip hop, we know somebody could potentially get hurt. So me as fuck being an artist, just me as a man, if I can get a hold of one of these dudes and go, yo, dude, you know what I mean? Like kind of, pull back or something and try to persuade him to go and have a conversation with that man instead of poking your chest out. Because if you poke your chest out, I don't care how humble I am at this moment, but if you come to me with your chest poked out, I'm poking mine out too. You know what I mean? And the real thing is, like these kids, even though a lot of them been through a lot and, friends passing and family members passing, it don't really hit them until they get old enough to realize, damn, the dude I went to school with that was a really good friend of mine in the 7th grade is no longer here because he was senselessly shot down at the club because somebody's girlfriend was close to him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, I can say that now because I've seen so many of those situations, and I feel ridiculous right now. You know what I mean? When I think about it, it feels ridiculous that I was okay with, not okay, but it was okay. It was normal, let me say. It feels normal when someone up the block get murdered or someone in the buildings found dead somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was normal. That's not normal. Like, we can go, yo, we hard over here, we street over here, we hood over here. But who are you saying that to except for somebody that's saying the same thing on the other side of the street, which means at some point y'all going to clash, somebody's going to die, and life going to go on without you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, is it really working? Come on.
I mean, I'm glad you said that. That was most pivotal because that leads me into my next question, which goes kind of into the Baker's Dozen, which is a nice 13-track project that you put out that made me think Billy Danze's on his grown man. He's dancing on tracks now. He ain't even just spitting no more. He's dropping even more jewels. The Ante Up was the biggest chart-topping song, but what do you think is your most important song that you made? Could it be from the new things, or was it, a past joint?
Well, as far as the records that we have, it could be multiple depending on what state of mind you're in. It could be, Ante Up could be something. And people, by the way, people think Ante Up is about robbing people, and it feels like that, and it is. But from my angle of it, it's more about we were in the game at that point for, a substantial amount of time, made amazing records, destroyed everybody on their own records, destroyed everybody on the stages, and still people didn't give us our proper respect.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's more about Ante Up. You know what I mean? Give us our proper respect. But yeah, I can't really say which song was the more important song, and I can't even say if some of the new songs are. But the new records that I'm putting out, like, and I mean, like the Baker's Dozen, like the 6-pack was just kind of the warm up. I don't know if you got wind of that one, but it was just 6 joints that I put together and put out, and that was just to kind of reopen the veins the Baker's Dozen, which is 13 songs, was more about just bouncing around with records and making sure people understood me as an individual, because a lot of people just know M.O.P. as the group and for this one particular sound. So I really needed to kind of help people understand that I actually can rap and I can make good records. I'm definitely going to go back to the wow records where you get your Annie ups and Cold as Ices and all them joints that we did in the past. But then this next piece that I'm doing is going to be something totally different from what I've already given you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I need to continue to do it different so people can see the different sides. By the way, the 6-pack, the first release that I did was my very first solo release. It was 6 songs, but it's my version of a single. It's basically just a single. It's a 6-part single. Baker's Dozen is a 13-part single. You know what I mean? So that's 2 singles that you got off the entire Billy Danze project. So the Billy Danze project is ongoing. So I'm going to give you another piece soon. And then another piece after that. And then I may give you the album next year. You know,
can't wait for it, because I love, like I said, I love the music. I'm a fan. And the thing about being a fan of somebody, I don't really call myself a fan of people because, I ain't really beat for the fan word, but I've been following M.O.P. since, what was it, 93 I first dropped?
Yep.
Yeah, see, I've been rocking since then. I remember the first time I saw y'all on Video Music Box, I went crazy because I never saw y'all anywhere but there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it was bananas for me. And then one of the most impactful records you ever made for me was Face Off. And on Face Off, I'm sorry I can't remember the lyrics. I apologize to you for that because it is what it is, and for the sake of time. But I'm Sarah Toga's finest, but first and father too, you should not Yamik and your highness. Like that right there, when you talk about passion, you're talking about your children and you're talking about your outlook on life. That's what made me love Billy Danze, because he was more than just somebody who could talk crazy. He was somebody who's living with a purpose and he knows where he stands in the game. So thank you for being who you are for hip hop, and I appreciate you. Thank you very much, bro.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
All right.
I appreciate that. Word.
So let's close this out. I like to do rapid fire questions, which are not yes/no questions. They're just questions that show people how even more intricate and intelligent you are. Because heritage hip hop is not based on beats and rhymes. We celebrate the entire hip hop culture through the identity and the intelligence of the MC. So thank you for being a part of it.
Thank you, brother. I'm still gonna do it, man. You know what I mean? As long as I can get that energy from people like yourself, I'm gonna keep going.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. So let's finish out. Here's our rapid fire questions. You ready? Here we go.
Let's go.
All right. Between First Family for Life and Warriors, M.O.P. was on an unprecedented run that the hood marveled at. What do you think? What album of M.O.P. do you think epitomized the group or the unit as being that team that everybody had to see?
I would say To the Death. For me. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, because it was the first time we did something different in life, ever. We've never did anything different from hanging out on the corner or majority of negative things. So this is something different. Me and Fane, look, in the middle of the hood in Brownsville, we put out beach chairs so our mom can sit out in the beach chairs. They sat there and watched us shoot a video. It was life-changing for us. Whether we got rich or not, we didn't know where it was going to go, but something different than something negative was beautiful for us. So for me, it's To the Death.
Okay. Great. And that's another classic album. Like I said, Guns N' Roses. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
you got to be a fan to know that one. Say what, say what. You know what I mean? All right.
That's right.
All right. So here we go. Question number 2. Between Rockefeller and G Unit, M.O.P. has done album, like you said, you've been your favorite rappers. What collab song did you enjoy the best and call it your favorite collab?
With between Rockefeller and G Unit, I think it's Death Becomes You with 50.
Okay, that was a big
That
one.
was the very first record we recorded, and it felt nuts. 50 was a beast with them hooks, dude. Oh my God. And when he sent the joint over, I remember, I think we were in D&D, we're headquarters at the time, and he sent the joint over, and I was like, wow. I recorded that record in about 40 minutes after getting the beat. I recorded my verse because I just liked the feel of the beat, and I liked the way 50 felt on the hook. I was like, this is crazy. So yeah, that's one of my favorites at that time from the both labels.
How about outside of those camps? What was your favorite?
Always like doing records with Busta because he got this energy that's ridiculous.
That's true.
But it's but dude, like we did so many, like it could be one of the joints or you know, one of the joints we did with Pun. It could be a joint that we did with Fat Joe. It could be, you know, really, to be honest, now that I'm thinking, I think my favorite M.O.P. collaboration of all times, which should have been happened years ago, M.O.P. and Mobb Deep, Street Certified.
Yeah, that was a hard one too.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It could have been a Pootie Tang record where you couldn't have heard nothing. Just the fact that it was M.O.P. and Mobb Deep, I was already sold, dude.
Yeah.
You know
I mean, I'm gonna tell you, man. I mean, thank God the Saint Marksman came out. I even got the Mash Out Posse rock album. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I mean, like I said, when me and my people we heard the You Don't Know remix, and we was like, they were Rockefeller, oh my God! Like we wanted to hear y'all in Siegel so bad. So then when we got the First, the Last, the Only, like that's one of my favorite collabs of all time, cause it was like that was unorthodox. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then not only that, even with G Unit, it was like, okay, where are we going with this? Because now you're talking about high tech beats, which leads me to my next question. Fame and Premier are beasts on the boards. I don't give a like when people be like, yo, they this and they this. I don't give a fuck. They already know Premier is upper echelon, one of the greatest of all times. But Fame is there too, because I remember that beat he did with the Sade mix. So Your Love Is My Love, I was like, yo, Fame is nice on them boards, and he actually did other beats that people thought Premier did, and it was his beat. Outside of them,
I think Fame did Rawness. So you went to Rawness. I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I got to look at my album credits, yes. But see, even coming from there, y'all have collabed with, like I said, in your unit, two of the best. And you have an album with Snow Goons. What type of beats bring the best out of Billy Danze? What is he looking for?
I can't say, bro. Like right now, I don't know what's gonna move me. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I'm doing these records like the Six Pack and the Baker's Dozen, so that people can see that, you know, it can be, you know, this conversation can spark a record, but it doesn't mean that I'm gonna do the same record that I did or have the same feeling that I had when I did How About Some Hardcore. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm gonna tell you this, big bro. I'm from Jersey, and you have so much love in Jersey that there's people from here who want to work with you so bad that when I told them I had this interview, they were like, "Yo, make sure you plug me to Big Bro, yo, please." Like they're just salivating out here for you in Jersey.
Well, bro, if you know, I mean, you got the contact. You know what I mean? If you know some people out there that want to get something going, you know what I mean? I love Jersey, man. Jersey is crazy, bro. But Jersey really, I said this for years. From the first time I went to Newark Symphony Hall, I said, this feels like home. Like it's almost like a second home for M.O.P.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, when we got up the stage, we left, went outside, mingled with a bunch of people, and the next day we got up, we like, yo, we still out here. We want, you know, we want to get some bud. We go right to the center of the hood. So the dudes that was at the show, we linked up with them. Dude, they got us in abandoned buildings, lots, all kind of parking lots. We taking all kind of wild pictures. Like we kind of sunk right in there. And the love, dude, that they give us there in New Jersey, man, I ain't feeling nowhere else. I'm gonna be honest. It's that genuine love. It's that, like, you know, we go in these to, you know, anywhere in Jersey, it feel like you going to the family reunion. Cousin them is out here, your homies is out here, your older brothers is out here. You know what I mean? It feels just like that. You know what I mean? I love it,
Yeah.
bro. Word.
Yeah, we
So
love
if
you
you
out in
got
Jersey.
some dudes that want to get in, you know what I mean? Plug it in, bro. Let's work.
Well, then we'll do that. We'll do that. For everybody out there who's going to listen to this podcast interview, I know y'all jealous, but something special going to happen. For real.
That's right. Let's go.
We got two more questions, and then we're going to ride out. All right. My next question is more geared to your future, and nobody's future is written. But I know you want to keep doing music. How do you think Billy Danze changed hip hop?
You know what? I don't know if I want to. And I'm gonna tell you why. I can go back maybe 5 minutes ago, where I said to you that I love what hip hop is doing for our communities. So I don't want to change that. You know what I mean? Because everybody, we can all, a lot of people in the neighborhood could shoot basketballs or play football, but that don't mean we're gonna make it. This is something that's been easy for us to take care of our family and our friends and our loved ones. So I wouldn't change it, because now look, like, artists are making more and more money. We got more control now. The artists have an understanding that this is about us. We don't really need the people that's going to sucker us and hustle us out of our money. You know what I mean? The music industry, not just hip hop, but the music industry was designed for the labels to make the money and the artist to become the star. Most artists from my mother's time, they pass away broke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Unfortunately, yes.
Most artists, a lot of the artists up into the 90s, like most of the artists had no money. They would have something, but they wouldn't have, like, why is there millions of dollars being made off me and I could just pay my rent and, maybe have a little car and a little pocket money? You know what I'm saying? Like, this money is being made because I'm creating these records and people are liking the records that I create. Not taking the fact, not taking away from the people that invest. But if I'm investing too. You know what I'm saying? If we're going to do business, let's do good business. So I love the way hip hop is going. I love the fact that the artists have more control and more understanding that this thing is about us. This is this thing of ours. I don't want to call anyone culture vultures. I got some homies that do that, but because really, you can't put yourself in a bad situation. You can't be in a bad situation unless you put yourself in it. Yeah. So pay attention to all the moves that's being made, all the papers that's being sent to you, everything that you're signing. Pay attention to all that. Like, we're not changing hip hop. We still moving forward. Right now, dude, we got one of ours that got one of the biggest shows on Showtime, which is 50. We got one of ours running one of the biggest companies and sitting with the heads of the NFL. We got, a few of ours that's making movies. We got Master P, who's doing all of these kind of things. Dude got potato chips and phone cards and cell phones and gas stations. You know what I mean? Like, kids from the same corners. Kids from the same corners that we come from, bro, are now driving beautiful cars. Whatever they do with their money, they do with it. But they're driving beautiful cars and they got big homes. We got one of ours that sold a pair of headphones for $1 billion. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And this hip hop is going, man. The biggest genre of music in the world right now. So I wouldn't change it, bro. I wouldn't.
All right. I feel that. Now, see, you inspired another question, so please give me one more. I just want to understand this, because, see, when somebody asks me about what is New Jersey hip-hop, I have an answer. But, see, New York is different, because, to me, New York is like the Game of Thrones. Y'all have different kingdoms separated by bridges and boroughs. You see what I'm saying? Can you define for me, what is Brownsville, and who are the best MCs to come out of Brownsville?
Oh, shit. Master Ace, one. Of course. I mean, I could mention M.O.P, but that's obvious. Brownsville, right? Yep. Sean Price. You know who's crazy?
Tell me.
That boy Rockin' This Monster.
Oh, yes. That's that. Hey, Helter Skelter's up there, too. Yes.
Beast. Rock is the beat. Look, Helter Skelter is one thing. They was dope. They was dope. Yeah. But remember, and I'm only being 100% honest, at that time, in my head, I was in a friendly competition mode. So I didn't hear everything and everybody. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to be crazy with mine. You know what I'm saying? That's it. I didn't hear everything and everybody. Plus, I was, drowned in that Hennessy, so I couldn't hear everybody. But let me tell you something. First of all, Sean Price is amazing. The joint that Fame just put out, Miss Bernadette Price and Fame put together.
Shout out to them.
Fame is nuts. But rocking this dude, his last album, which I don't want to know. I don't know if it was his first solo album, but a solo album that he put out, I want to say last year.
Yes, After Price.
He went so nuts on that. Yes, Rock After Price. That's it. Oh, Rock After Price. Woo! That boy is crazy.
Yep, GW Bag is a classic.
Yeah. We got a lot. We got enough dudes over there down there in Brownsville, man. Still from Smith and Wesson, dope, very dope.
Yeah,
dope. Smith and Wesson period. But Brownsville we're talking about. It's a lot of cats. It used to be some cats down there. I think they pulled back out of the game. But they were called Brownsville 300.
Okay.
And it was so nuts, man. It was like 2 songs I heard of theirs. I'm sure they had more, but 2 joints I heard of theirs that was crazy. So we got some dudes down there that really get in.
Yes, you do. Yeah, Brownsville seems like it seems like Brooklyn's a planet and Brownsville is its own world. It seems like because when you hear y'all have a song where y'all shout out all the parts of Brooklyn, and it's like it's so many different parts. Brooklyn is like North times 3, it seems, because it's so big, you know. But
it is. It's huge.
Yeah. Here's my last question, and this is the most important question I ask every artist. Once again, I'd like to thank you for coming on here. Please drop your social medias before I drop the question so everybody knows how to follow you.
Yeah. I mean, everybody can catch me on Twitter at Bill Danze M.O.P. You can catch me on IG, Billy Danze M.O.P. You can catch me on Facebook as Billy Danze. And hit me for whatever. It don't have to be about no business. Hit me for whatever, man. I got a world full of information, man. You know what I mean? Please. You know what I mean? I'm always here to help. Work.
Well, I'm gonna hold you to that. Please follow Heritage Hip Hop just the same way on all platforms, and we'll talk, man. Because I really appreciate the fact you give me a chance to learn. The Bible says when you find a wise man, you wear out his doorstep. So I would love to talk to you for more information if you don't mind.
Hit me whenever you want, bro. I'm always here, man.
All right. So here's the final question. Our lives are temporal when it comes to civilization. Billy Danze, unfortunately, has to return to the essence, and his legacy will live on in the world. One day, somebody might dig up a computer and be like, what the hell is this? We don't even use these no more, and find your discography. Or they may find this interview. They may find a music video one day. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to see who Billy Danze is. My question for you is, because you did hip-hop, how did you make the world better through your legacy? How is the world better because Billy Danze existed and did life?
Wow. That's an amazing question. How to answer it? Jeez, how do you answer that? Because it's so much. There's so much that I believe that I've done. But I believe that's going to be up to some individual that find that computer or that listens to this interview 60, 70 years from now to dissect, to listen to what I've done or listen to this interview and then go back and try to find some stuff. It could be fun. They may really understand how great of a man I actually am or was, right? So I think that's a question that's not a question. It's something that we leave in the air and hope that someone finds the now version of Cut or the Urban King, Billy Danze, and figure out how great he was and what his legacy actually means. You know?
Well, brother, that answer was deep.
Thank you, Tim. Look, all I can do is give you what I'm feeling, brother. You know what I mean?
And I appreciate that. So for everybody out there listening, remember, this is the most
hip hop quotable rapper to me ever. And if you ever want to doubt that, just listen to the songs with his voice. They take the words from his verse and make it the hook. Just think about that. So, everybody out there, thank you for listening to Heritage Hip Hop. Once again, we're here with Billy Danze. Make sure you subscribe to the website, www.heritagehiphop.com. And with that, the Baker's Dozen is out right now. Go get it. We say peace, and we out. Salute.
Peace, and thank you for listening to this episode of the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. Once again, this is Karev, and we have to say a special thank you to Billy Danze, one half of M.O.P. and contributor to the First Family. M.O.P. is a movement, and they've been around for years. And like I said, if you know Karev, then you know that M.O.P. is one of my top 3 favorite hip-hop groups of all time. Hopefully we can get Tef and hopefully Lil Fang. It'll be wonderful. But before we close out, we'd like to give a special shout out to Fatty's Place, Wildfire Marketing, and Diamonds Entertainment. Also the Big A Show. We are all part of the Heritage Hip Hop Network, and we ask you to support all of us. Fatty's Place, Faddys Place, on Instagram. Diamonds Entertainment LLC, DIEMENZ Entertainment LLC, and Wildfire Marketing on Instagram as well. For the Big A Show, look up Ahdayar, AHDAYAR, on YouTube, and you can catch me, Karev, as the co-host on the show. More importantly, we're not here to just make things happen. We're here to celebrate you, the hip-hop culture, and all our people. Be sure to follow Heritage Hip Hop and Billy Danze everywhere. Go ahead and support his music. And if you're looking to support Heritage Hip Hop, you can follow us at www.heritagehiphop.com. Heritage Hip Hop on YouTube. Just hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And with our website, we have free membership to download free music and to support New Jersey hip hop culture. We also have apparel. So if you want to get a Heritage Hip Hop shirt, hoodie, or something just like, you could go to www.storefrontier.com/heritage hip hop, and you can support the team. Thank you for listening, everybody, and we'll come to you next time with another great episode and great interview. Until then, we say peace, and we out.